Well, Ulysses, things aren't looking too good. The situation isn't looking too good for one Wander Franco.
My body feels exactly how it looks, and it looks worse and it feels worse when we have to talk about things that are not very pleasant. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulysses Zambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other traditional podcasting platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. We've had a couple mailbag questions filing in. We are always accepting new ones with that. So, Ulysses, we had Evan Klosky on the show on Friday. You were in Spain, out of the country, as the situation and details was heightening with the Wander Franco situation and alleged crimes. I'll just first ask you, when the news and more news after that started to trickle out, your just initial thoughts and impressions that it was, hey, it's been, basically 4 months of silence, and now it's coming out like rapid fire here.
What a bleeping idiot.
Yeah.
I really wish I could say the word. That's how adamant I feel about it. Again, I understand this is all just like alleged, and no one's been sentenced, and no I get it. But if this is all true, oh my goodness. Like, this is the most pathetic end to a baseball career I have witnessed.
Right.
Because of the talent, because of the money, because of what it was done, because of how it was done, because of when it was done. All of the factors of this situation are just horrible on top of horrible. I don't know where to begin, Kevin, because it's just unfathomable that somebody would just throw away their talent and bright future on something so despicable willingly.
Yeah. And the way this story is evolving, it seems like every time that we hear more developments on the front, that it gets worse and worse. Like, oh, the next detail is worse than the previous detail. So the more that comes out is like, okay, now it wasn't looking good to begin with. Now it's really, really, really not looking good.
I mean, the thing that got me at the end, I think it was on a Friday, the text messages.
The WhatsApp messages between him and the alleged victim and minor.
I mean, when you're willingly saying, hey, I could be in trouble because there are team rules. First of all, bud, that's not team rules. That's like human rules. When you're over 18, you shouldn't be talking to 14-year-old girls, okay? That's not a team rule. That's not the Tampa Bay Rays got this rule. Sorry, I can't engage. No, that's like human. That's like world, global situation thing. Just that one got to my core of like, this guy, again, if this is all true. I hate that I'm going to have to say this so many times,
allegedly, we can just put a blanket statement that all of this is alleged by,
because people are going to like snip it. People are going to spit. No, you said this. Okay. Yeah. Allegedly. Just so dumb. And it's not like, Kev, it's not like it was a drunken night and she lied to him and she had a fake ID. Only people that were over 18 could be at the establishment. He wakes up and he's like, "Oh, whoa, you're 14. Oh my, this is crazy." And then he doesn't know what to do. And no. It's like willingly stepping into the abyss and falling for just. I can't understand this.
And that's what you think his defense would be, that basically that line that you laid out of fake ID in a nightclub saying she's a certain age, and turns out that no, that might not be what happened here. So there's more to discuss on this matter, but first we have to tell you this. The NFL regular season is wrapping up, but there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is super easy to use, and there are many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab, and you can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays. So go ahead and visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to make your first bet a layup. Again, FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON. FanDuel, they are an official partner of the NFL. So Ulysses, just kind of circling back and giving some context here. We had Evan Klosky on the show on Friday, and then I guess Wander had his hearing that same day. And here's some of the, I guess, the main points that have come out thus far. When he was 21 years old, Wander allegedly had a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old while making regular payments to the girl's mother that she used to buy property, a 2023 sedan, and electronic devices. Franco will have to pay a financial guarantee equating to about $34,000 and make monthly visits to the court for the next 6 months. He was not placed on house arrest or prevented from leaving the country. The judge did order house arrest for the mother of the girl. There is a court filing stating that Franco and the girl's mother engaged in the exploitation and prostitution of minors, physical and sexual abuse, and trafficking of minors. Franco allegedly took the minor from her home in the province of Puerto Plata on December 9th, 2022, and for a period of, quote, 2 days, the accused had sexual relations with the teenager. And as we know, the relationship came to light in July when the girl reached out to a digital media company with her story of the relationship, providing pictures to try to force her mother into sharing the money she had received from Franco. An anonymous complaint was made to the Gender Violence Unit of Puerto Plata based on that report. Furthermore, authorities state that Franco's mother had sent money to the girl's mother, but she has not been charged in the case, even though they said she got involved to, quote, avoid traces of her son with the accused. So that's kind of some of the nuts and bolts that we learned. I guess there's a 63-page report that has a lot more, and some of those text messages or WhatsApp messages that you were referencing. But again, the more and more we learn, the more it doesn't look good. And I think that this is a Netflix documentary that we're watching before our eyes. 2020 episode that we're watching before our eyes.
This is going to be on our screens to be watched on Netflix or whatever very, very soon, once it all comes out.
Credit to the reporters and journalists in the Dominican Republic. I mean, It seems like they've been doing a bang-up job. Just bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. And it's really just Jeff Passan and other people retweeting or reposting or relaying what I guess hardcore journalists in that country are, really doing the yeoman's work to get to the bottom of everything.
And Kevin, not only that, which obviously kudos, but the investigation itself to not have leaked anything, to have been just able to just say, no, we're going to focus on getting information, getting into evidence. And then once the show, the circus begins, then things will filter out just like they will in any country. Boom. That's exactly what happened. Like, very well done, that investigation, to have kept it all under wraps and until now. But, you know, before the first segment was done, I was talking like, I can't believe it. Like, it's so, I don't understand it. We should be able to, if we want to dissect the why, we can get there. And the way that we can get there is, Franco was a talent so big that at 12 years old, he was getting scouted. At 12 years old, he drops out of school. Now, everybody here that's listening, go back into your 12-year-old mind. Imagine if you had never gone to school after that. How would your brain developed after that if it had just been into a sport? And that's exactly what Wander Franco has done. So you would think, like, how does a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old, go after a 14-year-old? It's because in his mind, that's who he can relate to.
Yeah.
He can't relate to 21 and 22-year-old women that went to school, that went through life, that had experiences outside of baseball. And he doesn't have that. He got stuck.
Yeah.
Emotionally
stunted. Emotionally and socially stunted, while physically he blossomed.
Yeah.
Into one of the best ball players in the game.
But here, not so much. And it's a shame. It's a shame, and if we want to, even go further, like, that's something that I really hope comes as a silver lining in this. It's that MLB teams themselves just start to take notice that, like, profits are awesome and great that MLB is making money, but, like, how about we try to not do that this way? Maybe let's give some education to kids. John Romano came out with a piece on Sunday talking about, like, how should we have looked for signs, which, what a clickbaity article title for that. No, fans should not be looking into signs to see if their star shortstop is going to be committing felonies. That's not the fans' jobs. But I did get, he did mention a couple things, that he got isolated in the locker room after the Randy fight, after the Siri fight in spring training. He gets called out by Cash in front of everybody, but he put out something like, he never was on time for the national anthem to hold Little League kids' hands on the Sunday games, or would never bring the hat and glove to his teammate that made the last out.
Right.
Fantastic way of putting all of this together, John. I commend you for it. Where was that a year ago?
Those nuggets of throwing that out there. Well,
yes.
that's a $1 million question. Because I wonder if this is just being leaked to him now, or if he had been sitting on this and knew about it. Because I would have thought that some of this may have been thrown out or put into some of the reporting when Wander got benched, or basically benched for those 2 games for being a bad teammate.
Yeah.
Because there's details in there that John put him out there, and it's some stuff that brought to the forefront. Again, we know about, his Wander's love of fancy cars and jewelry and so forth. But I don't remember if I don't think I was aware that Franco was a father at 17 years old. I definitely didn't have the knowledge that he didn't make it to the field on time for national anthem before Sunday games, or that he didn't carry hats and gloves out for teammates. I didn't know that he got into an altercation with Jose Siri at the end of spring training. I didn't know that he was completely isolated in the Rays clubhouse, and that he just went home after the games and played video games all night, and that the team, like, had to intervene and reach out to his parents, and eventually brought in Tony Pena, one of his childhood friends, into the fold just to try to get him right and try to, bring Wander some happiness and enthusiasm and try to get him on the right path again.
So where's
Because there were a lot of details that I was not privy to beforehand.
a lot of us weren't. So, with the two on-field things, those are the ones that I want to focus in on. The not helping, not giving your teammate, hey, your glove and your hat, you were the last out, or being on time with the little leaguers for the national anthem on Sundays. Like those two things. If you're a beat reporter and you're there at Tropicana Field every day because that's your job and you travel with the team, or you sometimes travel with the team,
right?
This is information you have. This is not information that the team is keeping away from you. These two things, because you're there. Where was this information? Why wasn't it put out there?
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't this information put out there? Is it because of the writer's job to I'm not going to put it out there because I'm going to be protecting him? Is that the team saying, hey, can you not, kind of protect the guys? Is it because you want the quotes and you don't want to diminish and you don't want to hurt your sources of hey, if I need to talk to Wander, maybe they're not going to talk to me, I just feel like that's so not the way to go about it. That's so not the way to go about it. You write about this stuff, man. You don't just oh, should we have been seeing these signs? No, you're there. You're there at Tropicana Field. You're the beat writer. You tell us.
Right.
You tell us. That's how it works.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think that his piece holds in terms of shedding light on Wander's social skills or lack thereof, and impulsive
100%.
behavior, and not having those soft skills, if you will, which again, Wander's been a god, he's been a god since he was 12, 13, 14 years old, since he first, let's not forget that the Rays didn't just give him the $182 million contract. He also got a pretty hefty signing bonus as a teenager, as 16 years old, and
$3 million.
Yeah.
$3 million, and he goes and buys a $300,000 Rolls Royce. Remember, it wasn't this spring training, but it was on 2022. He parked at Eric Neander's
that's right. Yeah.
And during spring training, just the social skills were not there. And that's what we were talking about earlier with the emotional stunted growth.
Yeah. Because
when you just focus in on baseball since you're 12 years old, those skills are not going to be there.
You don't learn the please and thank yous. It's just you're handed everything and treated everything on a silver platter, so to speak. And that may have been hey, I can do many rich, entitled athletes or businessmen or celebrities, that I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want. And it does seem like that was part of the whole shtick. It's unfortunate, man. This was such a very bright future. And, going back to the Randy fight, because I did tell you about a Jose Siri interview that he did in the DR. He spoke well of Wander. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Randy, in the Randy fight, how many points does Randy Rosarena now get with the Rays fandom for that fight? For whatever happened, now Randy Rosarena gets those points.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, it's unfortunate all around. We have more to discuss, Ulysses, but first we have to tell the audience something very important.
Yes, and that something is that life, you have to be prepared for whatever comes at you. And sometimes you can't imagine what it would be like to miss out on a certain medication. Well, thankfully, you'll be okay because of Jace Medical. The Jace case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, skin infections, among others. This stuff could happen to any of us. So today, visit jacemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared than today. So again, go to jacemedical.com and use offer code locked on, LOCKEDON, to get $20 off your order at jacemedical.com.
Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being yes, Wander will play in a Rays uniform again, 1 being never, 100% not playing in a Rays uniform again. Where are you on that 1 to 10 scale?
1.1.
Okay.
Like, it's so close to just being finite. It's just so close.
And I mean, basically, we're going to get into this tomorrow's episode, but was it not the same day that the proceedings happen with Wander in handcuffs with his lawyers, with the whole pomp and circumstance, unfortunately, that the Rays are like, yeah, let's go ahead and make a trade for a middle infielder shortstop. Yes, there's some focus on Taylor Walls not being ready for opening day, but this has a larger scale to it as well.
You don't send out Luke Raley, who was a fantastic addition. Good luck, Luke. Again, we're going to talk about that on Tuesday's show. You don't send out Luke Raley because Taylor Walls might be 2 weeks late, might be a month late. Gotta trade Luke. No, you don't do that. So it was definitely a Wander Franco situation there. So sad, man. So sad. And you see it on X, people are just spewing and that's fine. Everybody's
they have turned on him. I mean, not surprisingly, they have turned. And
what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Like, I will say innocent until proven guilty, but there's a lot of people out there ready to
put his head in a stake,
prison, and throw away the key for the next 20, 30 years.
I've seen
that could be that could be a prison.
That could happen. That could happen. By the way, I've been seeing this like Stephen A. Smith clip, which is kind of funny. They put it as a reply where I don't know who he's talking about, but Stephen A. goes, they should not be in jail. They should be under the jail.
Yeah.
So that's exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have that sentiment with Wander. So you mentioned that with the Rays, you're at a 1.1, basically. I mean, almost there. One more bad headline that comes out, you're basically done with it. What about MLB? Because Evan on Friday seemed to suggest, and this was before the proceedings happened, the initial court appearance, I guess, or meeting with the judge, that, hey, 3, 4, 5 years from now, a lot of things happen. A lot of things can change. Narrative shift. You did your time, whatever, that, some team might be willing to give him a shot.
If there's prison time, no way he touches MLB ever again. If there isn't prison time, I could see where Evan's perspective could occur. So I'll give it a 1.5. But again, it's so, and look, and I don't want to make this whole a Trevor Bauer thing, but Trevor Bauer is still struggling with getting hired in MLB.
Yeah, he's kind of on an apology tour right now, trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
And he certainly had the ability to play in the league. It definitely was not an ability question.
He's wearing suits now and saying his yes ma'ams and no sirs, and so apology tour for Trevor Bauer. Is that going to be a way in? Maybe, but I feel like I don't want to rank the situations because that's horrible, but I just don't see it, man. I don't think so.
And if you're, again, we're just talking about baseball here and on the field, and I guess to some extent off the field implications, but really if you're a Rays fan right now, your only hope is being able to get out from under that contract. Because if you cannot, you are already, the Rays are already handcuffed, whether by design or by having to. They certainly have, I think, the money to spend more on payroll, but that you would have this albatross hanging over your head, just dead money, and you're not getting anything in return for Wander Franco, if you were in, some parallel universe able to trade him, it is literally trading him for a ham sandwich. And maybe not even that. Like, yeah.
Look, this is. I was listening to a radio interview by a Dominican economist and mathematics guy. His name is Jaime Aristi Escuder. He's a graduate of the University of Chicago, and he was talking about the Wander situation and how he sees it in his head, in his mind, that there is just no way that Wander gets paid this money. I mean, he sees it as a foregone conclusion. He is not going to get this money. The way that he was so adamant kind of surprised me, because I don't know if he knows something about how these contracts work, how maybe a speculation, like if it's a felony, then it gets void. I don't know, but he sounded so matter of factly. So, and he's obviously a studied guy. So I don't know. It was an interesting thing to hear. Yeah. So that's right, man. If that's the quote unquote silver lining you can find is that this contract is voided, and then you don't have that albatross hanging over you, and you can maybe say, well, now what can we get for that money? What can we do another Brandon Lau type deal with one of our youngins? A Paredes, Mead,
or go out and sign your Freddie Freeman guy.
Go out and sign a Freddie Freeman type. Caminero. Hey, hello, how you doing? You want to be the guy for us? I don't know. It could be a number of different things.
Definitely more on this to come for sure. This is not the last we've heard on this situation. No. We more so like to. This isn't Locked On Courtroom. This isn't. Locked On Prosecution. No. We like to talk about baseball related matters, and this is quasi baseball related. But and it would be better if we were talking about Wander and his health status for 2024 rather than this nonsense and this mess.
I would love to be talking about his growth. His growth is going to be hitting a different level in 2024. Watch out for him. Can he be a better teammate? Yada yada yada. And instead, we're having to talk about this.
Yeah. I do have a quick baseball trivia question if we want to kind of change gears and make things uplifting to end the program.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Wander is a shortstop, so I figure this question can be related or is related to shortstops. I have in front of me a list of 19 players, 19 individuals who played at least 2,000 games at the shortstop position defensively. I want you to name 6 of these 19 individuals.
2,000 games.
2,000 games playing shortstop.
12 seasons. So 12 seasons at shortstop. Derek Jeter.
He is number 2 on the list with 2,674.
Ozzie Smith.
Very good. Ozzie Smith. Very good. He is number 4 on this list with 2,511.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Cal Ripken, number 5, 2,302.
Okay. I know another one, but
Wander is not on this list, and never will be on this list.
Never will be on this list. I know one, but I want to leave him as my number 5. So
okay.
I'm being cheeky that way. Let's see. Shortstop. Why am I blanking? Oh, Barry Larkin.
He is number 15 on this list with 2,085. I also think underrated as a player. Doesn't get enough love because there were so many good shortstops that popped off.
100%. 100%. Let me just try this one. I know it's gonna be strike one, but I just want to see if he made it. Nomar Garciaparra?
Too many injuries. Strike one.
Okay, fair enough. Omar Vizquel.
Number 1 on this list with 2,709 games defensively.
That's incredible.
as a shortstop. Very good.
Nice.
I will run through the other names here: Vizquel, Jeter, Aparicio, Smith, Ripken Jr., Jimmy Rollins, Larry Boa, Luke Appling, Dave Concepcion, Rabbit Marinville, Alan Trammell, Bill Dolan, another guy that I think was maybe not given as much love as he could have or should have garnered, Edgar Renteria, with 2,114 games at short. Bert Campaneris, Barry Larkin, Tommy Corcoran, Royce Clayton, believe it or not. That's a wild card choice there. Roy McMillan, and then Pee Wee Reese. That is the list.
Great list. Great question. Good way to end the Monday morning weird ep mood.
Yeah, I mean, really, any discussion surrounding Wander gets weird now. That's where we're at.
Drop it down in your in the comments how you feel. Vent it out. You know, I think you guys have been really judicious with the way that you describe how you feel on the YouTube comments, and we thank you for that. We don't want it to be toxic in this community, so we thank you for keeping everything kind of on an even keel. So thank you, and please keep doing that. We love to hear you down in the comments.
Yeah, and I don't want to open up a can of worms here, but people have already thrown out or suggested. I have not seen these in any traditional media outlets or articles, but maybe in the lengthy reports. We have some sleuths out there, but that there are 3, 4, 5 handful of other minors that Wander may have been involved with, allegedly, but didn't go public, or wouldn't go public, or got paid off to not go public.
Woof.
So
dude. Woof.
yeah, that makes it even worse. That's why I'm saying that's where I'm at, where every time from basically now until I think eternity,
never buying a jersey again.
We see with Wander is not, it's going to be bad. It's going to be like, oh, what came out now, or what's
I have trust issues. I am never buying a jersey again. How are you willing to tell me that I can buy a jersey, Neander? Stu?
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's another thing. I know we're going long here, but the Rays, like the New England Patriots did with Aaron Hernandez, I recall this being on one of the documentaries that I watched, that any fan that had a Hernandez jersey could go and exchange it for another of their choosing, be it Tom Brady or Wes Welker, or, pick a guy, Rob Gronkowski during that era. I think the Rays should offer that same exact courtesy. I don't know if it'll come after the conviction, or if there is a conviction. But I think at some point, if this gets as bad as we think it will get, or he doesn't play another game in a Rays uniform, that the Rays are essentially done with him, that the organization should offer up that courtesy and that offer, that if you have a Wander jersey, memorabilia, you can exchange it for an equal or lesser value.
I 100% agree with this. Well, from what I've heard from people on social media, is that they did it, but you had to present a receipt of the purchase, which I feel is kind of...
Who's keeping that receipt, though?
Come on, son. Who else did I buy it from? Oh,
you think they'd have the technology to scan it and see when it was purchased? And
they do.
At what location? Okay.
Of course they do. They must have that information. I'll ask. I know somebody in the business. I'll ask them. But yeah, it's I hope they do that. I mean, my man, I bought my mom a Franco jersey.
We had the bat night. We went to the bat night together.
Yeah, we did.
And it was very shortly after that.
And it was very short. Enough. Wrap this up.
All right. We'll wrap it up. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. And we will talk to you on Tuesday.